So this is the village where Father Moreau was born. His parents, so Louis had a little, was a wine seller. He was selling wine in the countryside. And he also had a few fields and a few animals, for example, cows. Little Basile used to watch over the cows, all right? And then his mother was taking care of some vegetables and fruits and would maybe sell some of them. But so the, the priest of this village started a small school, and he saw very fast that Father Moreau, who was Basile at the time, had gifts for learning and leadership. And he came to see his father and said, I would like little Basile to come to my school. And so he went there. And then he said he needs to go further on. I know that he can do great things. He's going to need to go to a collège. So the collège is in Château-Gontier. And so it's about the father accepted, which was a blessing, because at the time he could have won, Father Moreau or Basile Moreau to stay here. So they went to the collège on foot. It took 3 days to get there. And then you know the story, Le Mans and everything, right? So why is this place important before we go to the church and talk about the church in there? See how the village is, it's very, very small. I mean, there's not really much than what you see here and around here. So people here worked together, right? They were united, they worked together. It's here that Basile Moreau learned about the cross, right? And Mary, his mother was very close to the cross and to Mary, and that's where he got this devotion. Then he learned about the persecuted church here too, right? Because his former pastor was killed in Le Mans, and the vicar was exiled in Spain, all right, because of the times that were happening, revolution and everything. This afternoon, Sister Jolene talked about the history between the Carmel of Le Mans and the brothers. Okay, so when Father Moreau was done making his stained glass windows for his church, he did not want to make it a store or a workshop that would last. He did not do it for money. He did it only to have stained glass windows in his church. So when it was completed in 1851, he offered his oven to the Sisters of the Carmel of Le Mans. Right, and those sisters learned how to make stained glass windows, and they became extremely gifted too on that. So they started making windows for people all over the world, and that's why I told you in the Basilica at Notre Dame, all the windows come from the Carmel of Le Mans. If you go there, it's written Carmel du Mans on the stained glass windows. So those two stained glass were offered by the sisters to thank Father Moreau for giving them the oven. It was given in 1854, that's why it was put in the former church first, and it depicts the life of Saint Basile and Saint Anthony to thank Father Moreau, okay? He being his patron, Basile Antoine Marie Moreau, so Saint Basile and Saint Anthony. And so those windows come from the same workshop that did the ones that we just saw in the Providence, all the windows that we just saw, all right? And then one last thing, when they reconstructed that church and Basile Moreau was present, they did put the new seal of the congregation up there, right? So we have the former one on the windows, and we do have the new seal, the actual seal of the congregation up there.
It will be on the top of joy. Blessed be God, blessed be God, blessed be God forever.
Yeah, everybody feels something when they come here. Yeah. Brother Paul, your Superior General, he really feels it. Really feels it.
Jacques Francois Duzarier's place. So we say in English Jacques Francis Duzarier, but in French we say Jacques Francois Duzarier was the parish priest of Rouillé and the diocesan priest of the Diocese of Le Mans. And he is the founder of the Sisters of Providence and later on, few years later, he founded an institution that we call that Brothers of Saint Joseph, and later on Brothers of Saint Joseph became the Holy Cross Brothers. So now we are in Petite Providence. There are a small Providence and big Providence. So in French we say Petite Providence et Grande Providence. So now I don't want to say more. There is Sister Gillian Moffat. Originally she's from England, but she has connection with Ireland. She
Irish
knows
parents.
So she's,
Irish passport.
Yeah, so, passport. She has Irish passport, so she knows Father Patrick Payton, servant of God.
Yeah.
So and sister is here with for us today to welcome us. We communicated with her about 2 months ago, and she lovely accepted to guide us, to be with us, and we call them our cousins, and we are cousins. There's a Holy Cross members and sisters of Providence. So now Julian, so she's
Father Dujarier, when he was ordained for the parish in Rouillet, where you stopped to pick me up. And he realised very quickly that there were people who were not being evangelised and not being looked after in other parts of his parish. So he asked a group of young women, he built a house first of all, and he built the house using stones from the area, and he got the boys and the girls who were being catechised to bring stones with them every time they came for catechism, and he built the house with the work of some of the parents. So the house was built in 1806 and the little chapel was built in 1812, and the house served first of all as a little school and a little dispensary where they looked after people who were sick. And then as the number of women came to increase, it became the house for the growing family of the Sisters of Providence before they became too big. And then when they became too big, they moved to the big house, which was built in 1820, where you will have lunch today. Okay, so this is our first house, and we feel very privileged that we still have it. There is no electricity, so we've kept it really quite basic. We haven't really added anything to it apart from some water inside. Nobody stays here. It really is a place of pilgrimage for the sisters, and very important in the story of Father Dujarier as well. Very important in his conception of evangelizing and being zealous for the poor and for those who are disadvantaged in this area, which I don't think has changed too much in the last 200 and however many years. Yeah. Does everybody understand my English? Yeah. Am I talking too fast? No.
Sister, can you tell something about the bell? Why we ring that? What is the reason?
What is the reason? We have a bell. So Father Dujarier, when the sisters were here, to call the children to school or to prayer, then we had the little bell. So every time we come now, Father Joseph wants to ring the bell. So we're going to let Father Joseph ring the bell. Okay.
So nobody will come now.
This for me is the centre of our congregation. Yeah, and when I talk about it, I feel up. Yeah. So the idea is, as Sisters of Providence, our foundation is our spirituality is based on the fact that God so loved the world that He gave His only Son, and His only Son was born into poverty, and therefore that's where we should be found in situations of poverty with those who are the poorest and the most marginalised. So when Pope Francis writes things in his encyclicals, I think he's read our constitutions. He's taken his inspiration from our constitutions, definitely. Yeah. So for me, that's the most important part of our spirituality is the incarnation. And on the door of the tabernacle, you've got the idea of the good shepherd.
Mustard, like
My
the
problem,
mustard.
my problem is I'm a girl from the city.
We have no idea what it is.
No,
Mustard.
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 Yes.
Oh, here's one who knows it.
Yeah. See, it's so interesting, isn't it? You can tell the people from the country and the people from the city. I'm from the city. I don't know any of this. He went to Le Mans because, to be looked after by the brothers and the priests in Le Mans because his health was so bad. Yeah.
Hello everyone, this is Father Joseph Gonzalez, Vice Rector of the Basile Moreau Shrine. So we are now at Charbonnières. Charbonnières is the first novitiate for the Brothers of Holy Cross. So when Brothers of St. Joseph came from Rouillé and they came here for their novitiate, for the first time the Brothers novitiate established here, and they did novitiate here and they took their first profession. So solitude was the first novitiate for the priests, and the Charbonnières was the first novitiate for the Brothers of Holy Cross. Thank you very much. Now this is the property, private property, that's why we cannot go inside from outside, and then you can see the bell tower is still there, and the wall, outside wall, still there. That is very original during Father Moreau's time, the first brothers' time. So they kept as it is the wall. This in some sides they renovated. They had to renovate because that was very much destroyed. But some sides they kept as it was before.
Father Jarier, for me, is one of those humble people who was willing to say, I need help. I can no longer do this alone. And so he found in Father Moreau the man that could assist him, but more especially continue the formation of the Brothers of St. Joseph. And today, that is a value that I think we need to hold on to have the humility at times to say, I can't do this alone. I need others. Father Moreau was very clear in saying, no one person built Holy Cross, but together we continue to build Holy Cross together. And so the word together was special to Father Jarier. I think the unique relationships we have with the sisters in Rouillé, again, is something that Father Jarier gave to Father Moreau as a unique way in continuing to build on collaboration that is so very needed in our world today.
This statue, unfortunately, does not have a date on it, but it was here in 1957. At least we know by that time. So the Marianites must have had an artist. It was commissioned. And so you see the way, it's very modern for me, for 1957, to have the three branches of priests, brothers, and sisters, and Father Moreau embracing. It represents the whole family of Holy Cross. And why I like it is he's almost smiling. Usually we don't have Father Moreau almost smiling. So it's a very nice statue, but I think it's just a symbol of this place, of our whole family of Holy Cross.
I believe that the vision that Father Moreau had and shared with the first priest brothers and sisters planted a seed that continued to grow in France and continues to grow today, that we must, We are called as men and women of faith, but more especially men and women of hope, that we bring that hope to the world. And that was planted with Father Moreau, with Mother Mary of the Seven Dolours, with Father Desjariers, working together to create a family that says there is always hope for our world. The legacy in Holy Cross in France is that every religious congregation has a beginning, and this is our beginning. It's where it all started. We have a unique opportunity to use the solitude, the sanctuary, and even the cemetery as a source of growing in our understanding of what Father Moreau's vision was, that we might again be transformed to be a message for the world.
Right, and maybe to tell you a little bit about why Basile Moreau is important to me, and I think is important for everybody. When I first started working here at the shrine, it was some years ago, I didn't know him well. And we welcomed pilgrims from, I think it was from the United States, from Notre Dame. It was the first pilgrimage I was following. I was just learning things. And actually, when people arrived here at the tomb, and they sat in front of the tomb and they kneeled in front of the tomb and they started to pray, some of them started to cry. And then I realized how important that man here was. And I didn't know yet. I hadn't started to study him or his life, or I knew him in a whole, but not. And so I started reading, I started looking at things, and I realized what this man had done and how important he was and how he could touch those people whose life professionally or personally or, are around him. And that really gave me the feeling of how important he was. And I've been experiencing that over and over when pilgrims come here, or people come here to discover him.
Hello, my name is Father John Phelan. I'm working in Peru and I come from the United States, and I've had this great privilege of being here for a pilgrimage to the solitude and to all the places in Le Mans that were such a big part of the life of Father Moreau. I've known Father Moreau about his life for a long time. I've even visited this place before. But this time things were a little different, I think, because of where I am in life, and now I'm celebrating 50 years of priesthood, and this is a part of the celebration for me. It's a gift from the district where I work in Chile and Peru, and so it's been given to me to be able to come here and to share with my brothers in Holy Cross and to realize all that Father Moreau has given us. I think one effect that has been taken on me has been to make me more prayerful. Just getting here to the solitude, I started spontaneously praying the rosary and started to discover how Moreau's prayerfulness was so much a part of this place and encouraged by this place of solitude. He could get away from all his administrative responsibilities. And I just finished a personal retreat myself with the theme of prayerfulness. So to me now, prayerfulness means to be aware, to be observant, to be able to recognize the face of God in someone who I meet who would be obviously undernourished and hungry, or to allow someone to pour out their grief at the passing of a loved one, or to recognize in the children, in their simplicity and in their faith, the work of God. I think for me as a missionary working in another country, what has been most important to me is to love the people and to let the people know that I'm really there because I want to be there. Because
to learn to live a simple life. When you have a look at where Blessed Basile Moreau used to live, his room, he was really living a simple life. So it is a call for me to live a simple life, especially in my ministry.
So at the beginning of the life of Basile Moreau, the church was also very, very poor. After the French Revolution, the parishes, the communities used to lose a lot of their ways, and they finally had to rebuild the churches. They had to rebuild the communities. They had to form new priests. They had to reorganize all the life of the church. Basile Moreau contributed very much to this.